Welcome to Issues. As you know, Issues is a program for the community. We highlight events and people in the community. This week we have with us Leon Bascome. Leon is President and CEO of Moongate Insurance. I'm sure some of you have heard interviews that he has had on the radio. You might have even heard of Moongate via the news. This evening we're going to go a little bit more in depth and see what Moongate is all about. Welcome, Leon.
Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for the invitation to speak to your listeners, and we appreciate it very much.
Very good. Let me start off right from the beginning. What is Moongate?
I mean, essentially, Moongate Insurance is an insurance agency, and in its traditional sense that, in the United States, people are used to agencies, the State Farms and Progressive, et cetera, et cetera. And what we did was we took that very same concept and brought it to the shores of Bermuda.
Now, were there any type of licensing procedures that you had to go through here in Bermuda with the Monetary Authority or?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, with regard to insurance, there is no entity that is not regulated or should be regulated. So we had to go through the rigors of the Bermuda Monetary Authority, and we were very pleased to have received our license to operate as an insurance entity on October the 16th. I know that date by heart.
Yeah, that I know that date by heart too. That's my wife's birthday.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, we're in good company.
Yes,
we're in good company.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, let me just ask. Some people may not be familiar with the term agent or agency. Correct me if I'm wrong. Being an agent in the insurance industry means that you can offer several different insurance packages.
Absolutely. And the thing about being an agent that it really allows us to increase the breadth of opportunities and coverages that people can avail themselves to. So, we're really pleased to be able to open up the market and open up the door so that people can come and discuss their various insurance needs.
Yeah. Now, few times that I've heard you on the radio, you've had an association with Age Concern.
Yes.
How did that develop?
I mean, it really it goes back to the origins of Moongate. When we initially started, after we received our license, we worked hand in hand with the health insurance department of the Bermuda government, and we were working with them on some of the deficiencies. I shouldn't say deficiencies, but some items that were excluded, and one of the largest items was the air ambulance piece, because many people know that to have to receive that service is $20,000 to $30,000, $40,000 to leave the island. And so we were initially working with that, and one of the items that we thought was most important was that when people have the future care coverage, they're able to use it overseas, but if there was an emergency, we couldn't get our seniors overseas. And so we actually had a discussion. We went on to see Claudette Fleming really about this subject. And so what had happened was Claudette and our team really appreciated what we were trying to do and how concerned we are with regard to these seniors. And they asked us to go back and, can you develop something further, a little bit more robust and meaningful for the Age Concern membership and for the seniors in general in Bermuda.
You mentioned future care, and we're going to get to that
Yes.
shortly. However, let me ask you, in terms of some of the various products, and you might not remember them all right now, in addition to health insurance, what are some other products that an individual can come to Moongate and purchase?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have people coming to Moongate to purchase, say, their home insurance. We certainly provide quotations to various individuals. We are, again, an agency. We have an agency agreement with Friesenbrook Meyer with regard to the non-health items, and that enables us to look at various lines of business, from motor vehicles, travel insurance, business insurance, many things to the like.
Okay, let's focus in now on what Moongate can do for seniors. You mentioned future care.
Yes.
Now, how do you assist or augment future care?
Yeah, I like to really start from the beginning and what Moongate is really about. It's really about helping people. It's really about helping people understand what they have. I mean, I'm a person that I come from a long background of being in insurance. I had always been in the international sector. And so one of the benefits of having that experience is having to explain the policies and explain exactly like the coverages. And I believe that we have the ability to really teach people in terms of what they have, because many people don't read the policies. You know, we get our policies.
Well, about this thing.
Yeah, that's right. It's like, you know, you have all this fine print,
Yeah.
you know, and most people just sort of like sign up.
Yeah.
And
But it's the fine print
that's
that
right.
gets you.
Yeah, but it's professionals like ourselves who have to really know about what's in that policy. So, in terms of your question of helping seniors, we like to take a look at that fine print and let them know, you know, sort of like some of the coverages that they have or maybe what they don't have.
So, in Future Care now, what are you offering in addition to the basic coverage that Future Care gives a senior? Are there additional benefits that one can get? Like, if I'm a senior with Future Care,
yes,
why would I need Moongate?
Well, firstly, I always like to give credit to the developers of Future Care, and certainly the health insurance department. They do a fantastic job in terms of being able to get that product out to the seniors. I think they inherently they did a fine job in terms of what they wanted to cover, more than the basics, and certainly when it goes into, without getting into too much technicality, they provide you know, additional supplemental coverage, which enables people to have overseas coverage at 75% rate.
Yes.
And so
that's the basic Future Care.
That's
if a senior wants to go overseas,
that's right.
Future Care will cover 75% of the medical bills,
absolutely,
leaving them with 25%.
With 25%,
yes.
And correct. And really, what we do with regard to that is, you know, like I said from the beginning, the most important piece, one of the most important pieces that we do right now. We're still looking at other products, but right now, if a person needed to go overseas to a Johns Hopkins or a Leahy Clinic or any of those locations, on an emergency basis, somebody fell down, somebody got in an accident, had a coronary or heart attack, anything like that, to get them overseas, it's left on the family because that coverage is excluded from the policy.
Yes, yeah.
So those who have, so like that, because you have seniors who have the HIP policy as well. So if you have a HIP or Future Care policy or maybe a vital policy from an Argus, some that have sort of like the basic coverage but not that overseas component, or that policy that doesn't cover the air ambulance piece, that's where we like to fill in that gap. And that's actually the name of our product is called Health Gap, and that's the product that we rolled out with with Age Concern, with Claudette Fleming and her group. We rolled that out at the Cathedral, and as you mentioned, we certainly try to give as much press as we could, because that product not only covered the myriad of air ambulance and emergency transportation services, but it also addressed other items in the healthcare industries, such as, you know.
Yeah, so Health Gap is the air ambulance portion.
Air ambulance forms a part of the Health Gap. That's right. The Health Gap has a host of other benefits, including in there things ranging from, you know, optical to additional coverage on additional discounts on pharmaceutical, additional.
Let me just ask you concerning the air ambulance portion. There's a senior in the hospital. The doctor says, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, we'll need to send you overseas to the hospital. What does the senior tell the doctor? I mean, how does the air ambulance portion come into effect once the doctor says we'll need to send you overseas?
Sure. I mean, that is a good clarification, because at all times, it's really the physician and the patient who has that conversation. Obviously, the physician determines what the prognosis is, and if a person needs to go overseas for emergency treatment. And what normally happens in the case of a future care, there is a number to call where they have a case manager, and so that case manager will then, what we do is we let that case manager know all of the people who are on our list, so that they know that they have the air ambulance service already, so that they don't need to charge the additional $30,000 or $40,000 on the bill.
Yeah.
So essentially what we do is we ensure that that person has that prepaid service.
Yes.
And once they have that prepaid service at a reasonable price, they don't have to be concerned about having to go to the LCCA.
Yes.
They don't have to try to, come to other family members or wealthy folks like yourself to get this additional funds. So what we like to do is we like to make the price reasonable. We're not out there to gouge anybody, and certainly individuals that know me, I like to be as genuine and as transparent as possible.
We're going to keep that price is so low. We're going to keep it till the end and surprise folks with it. How reasonable
yes,
it is.
absolutely.
Okay. Again, a senior.
Yes.
So it would be important for me when I come to the hospital to mention to the doctor, the nurse, the social worker that listen, I have coverage with Moongate for an air ambulance.
And usually the individual will have a card anyway.
Okay.
They do receive a MasterCard. This is Medical Air Services Association, are our partners overseas, and so a person always gets this card. And we always implore and encourage all of our clients to share this card with your medical provider, share this card with the health insurance department. Certainly we share it with the case managers for any overseas care that's required.
Okay, very good. Now, just for the air, and you're correct, I do work at the hospital, and I know regularly for air ambulance in the neighborhood, it starts off at 15,000.
Yes, starts.
Yes, and moves on up.
That's in order to get off the tarmac, it's more than that.
Yeah. Now, if you need a doctor on board,
yes,
it shoots way up.
Yeah.
So that air ambulance portion is very important.
It's very important.
Many times individuals do not have $20,000, $30,000 just sitting in their bank account, and they do have to go to LCCA.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's such a drain on the LCCA.
It is, and the thing is, with that, you still have to pay that back, which is
absolutely it's a loan. It's a loan.
It's really a loan.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Now. Go ahead.
No.
Here it is. For this benefit,
yes,
what is the senior paying? What, we know that insurance policies can be $60, $70 a month. So is it kind of in that neighborhood?
Well, what we do is we offer two different ways in order for a person to do that. Certainly, a person can purchase the air ambulance portion separately, and for that the price is straight $240 a year for an individual.
A year.
That's right. $240 a year. I'm in the Christian facility, so
yes.
I can't lie about these things.
Right.
No, it's $240 a year, and for the family it's $360 a year. There's a one-time $60 charge for those individuals. Again, that's if they want to do it on a separate basis. But what we did was we took it a step further, Richard, and what we did was we incorporated that within our health gap package, so that people can purchase it on a monthly basis, but also receive all the other benefits.
We're going to keep people in suspense right now to find out what the other benefits are.
That's right.
We're talking with Leon Bascome, and we will be right back. Welcome back. We're talking with Leon Bascome, President and CEO of Moongate Insurance. He and his colleagues have given birth to Moongate Insurance, and it is something that many of us can benefit from. We were talking about Future Care Insurance and air ambulance. Leon.
Yes.
Now, you told us it's $240 a year,
yes,
for this benefit.
For an individual.
For an individual.
Yes.
And we know that air ambulance costs starts off at $15,000
and then to 30, 40,000. Yeah,
correct,
absolutely. Yes.
Correct. Now, if I'm a senior and I'm with Future Care,
yes,
will I automatically know, will the Future Care people automatically tell me, listen, you might want to look into this additional benefit, or is it something that, you know, I need to watch it on Issues or hear it on a radio program?
Sure, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, even though we work in conjunction and association with the Health Insurance Department, as a matter of fact, on our license from the Bermuda Monetary Authority, we are listed, or they are listed as being, we are an agent for them, and so we are an agent for the HIP and the Future Care coverages, and so that enables us to put that within our packages. You know, with regard to your question, even though we have that affiliation, we're still a private entity, and so therefore it's up to us to continue to market that. Certainly, we appreciate that when people do go to the department, we're referred downstairs because we're actually located in the same building, okay, same locale. So we're actually right there across from right across from the cathedral in Sophia House, okay, and we're on the ground floor. So
they have to pass you to go upstairs.
They have to pass us to go upstairs, and the fact that we have the agency agreement on our license, what that enables us to do is to, again, to market so a person can come in and they can purchase a HIP or Future Care policy through us, and we can add those items which make up our keystone and milestone packages.
Okay. Now, you were telling me that with the health, what's the package called?
Keystone?
No.
Or milestone?
Yeah. Now, the air ambulance component is one.
Or the health gap.
Health gap, yes. Yes. The air ambulance portion is just one part of the health gap. Now, what else is in? By the way, no. Before we get onto that, you were talking about marketing. How do you go out to seniors, groups?
Yes, I love to go out and interact with seniors. I mean, one of the things I feel that is, you know, one of my traits and God-given talent is to really it helps me to identify with people. It helps me to empathize and really understand what the needs are. And so we've been really on a road show. I mean, every time we have a presentation, you know, there is another person that asks us to come along. So I've had certainly been to some teas, and I've had lunches. I've put on a little bit of weight, and but you know, it's really good to get on and speak to our seniors, because I think they appreciate that someone cares for them, and is not really trying to take them for a ride. I mean, again, if a person if I see that a person is fine with regard to their coverage and it addresses that need, then I say, well, stay with that insurance carrier. We're not just trying to sell a product. I mean, you know, for me and for the team at Moongate, we really want to ensure that a person has the right coverage and that it fits their needs. Yeah.
Now, as you go out and you give these presentations off the air, you were telling me that you ask them a question in terms of, you know, do you have sufficient money to cover the air ambulance?
Yeah,
what's the response?
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. I always ask people, you know, raise your hand. You know, if you have 20 or 30,000, 30, 40,000, you know, just sitting in your account to send someone overseas, and you know, it's very mute, as we say. And the other question, which is very pertinent, that I asked is, how many people have experienced or was involved in or has been involved in having to evacuate someone.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting that, throughout the island and throughout the community, there has been, a number of people who have seen it, they've experienced it, or even had to have been flown out themselves. And my mother had to get flown out as well. So it's certainly near and dear to me. And and when people put up their hands, they basically, re-emphasize what I'm saying in the terms of the costs. Many families have been crippled with the 30 and 40,000 additional cost with regard, so that doesn't even include the copay with regard to any insurance coverage that a person may receive. So we certainly like to ask these questions just to to really help it to resonate and for them to be engaged with regard to the conversation.
Yeah, our focus has been on seniors,
yes.
But is Moongate and the health gap, is that just for seniors?
No, the health gap itself, it's really, its origin actually, in terms of the additional items to address, really came from the HIP coverage or the health insurance plan coverage. And remind me to talk a little bit about HIP versus HIP. That's another item. But in the HIP coverage, they didn't cover things like vision. You're wearing glasses, so we had vision, and we had things like pharmaceutical. We had other services such as a person getting massages. And so some of these coverages were excluded or are excluded from the policy. So what we went back and did was speak to a lot of providers that are out there. So, and what these fine folks have done is provide discounts, and some very heavily discounted healthcare services. So, so we have Dr. Gilfeather, who's providing optical discounts with regard to your glasses and eye exams. We have, Dr. Kaiwan Brown. He's given 50% off of having, a full physical. So, and certainly we appreciate people like, and I hate to call names, but it's, these are the people who have been there from the beginning. But Caesar's
calling
Pharmacy
names is good because it will encourage others to come on.
It does, So we have, we have Caesar's Pharmacy, and we have Point Finger Medical. We have really services from all walks of life. I mean, we have Medical House who has joined on. They've been very supportive. Fortress is an accounts receivable management who collects all of our premiums. And so, we have a myriad of local services, and we're looking to expand that without increasing the price. And the other thing that we have is quite unique and very new to Bermuda is, we have really doctor referral services. If a person needs to get a second opinion, certainly we like to give a person that ability to get a qualified opinion. So we have a network of doctors.
Here in Bermuda?
No, this is overseas. This is an overseas.
Okay, that I did not know.
Sure.
Because sometimes some of our major medical insurance, some of them will not pay 100%.
Correct.
For the referral.
That's
they may
right.
pay 50%, but some of them would not pay that 100%.
That's right. And so the referral is part and parcel with regard to our services and our health gap product. And you mentioned about the copay, because that's what it is, the copay. And we have what's called a medical negotiator. Again, these are new concepts that people may not have heard. But basically, a medical negotiator says that, for that 25% that is, really due for the individual to pay, we have someone to really negotiate that down for you on your behalf. So we have a medical negotiator. And the other item that we have in there is really opening up the market and opening people's eyes. The scale is being removed, right? So opening people's eyes with regard to different locations around the world in terms of various services for surgeries and medical care. So, instead of just the U.S., because, I think 95% of people are sent to the U.S. U.S. of A.
Well, how would someone get to that if I go to
again? Well, what it is it's a portal that we have, and again, it's primarily informational. So if a person needs to, get a particular surgery, they want to get, take anything, vitro fertilization, you can go on there and you can see that various parts of the world, this is the price in the U.S. versus where you can go India, Mexico, UK, Germany, anywhere like that. So we like to open that up to everyone.
And so I would be covered by insurance if I went to...
Well, what it is that is to help your insurance to stretch, because if you go to the United States and there's an operation that costs you $50,000 and yet you can get that same operation for $20,000, you see your 75% goes a lot further and your copay is a lot smaller. So that's what we try to do.
Time is running out quickly.
Oh, my God.
You mentioned the hip portion now, and with some of the hip portion that doesn't cover some of these additional services.
Yes.
Health gap. Health gap?
Yeah, health gap, that's right. Health gap,
we'll cover that.
Well, we don't necessarily cover it. And again, what we do is we address, certainly it's coverage on the air ambulance and the full services of emergency transportation. But what we do is we address those with regard to discounts,
discounted,
so that whole package enables a person to have it more affordable. And one of the items that I did want to mention very quickly is that there is a difference between the health insurance plan, which is what we market on behalf of the health insurance department, and the hospital insurance plan. And it's very important for people to realize that, because the private insurers do have what's called a hospital insurance plan, but they call it HIP. And so, but that doesn't give you things like office visits. It doesn't give you the overseas coverage. There have been changes recently, and we invite people to come in. We're very glad that people do come in to see us, but this is where we explain these items, and so because people need to know these things, because you don't want to go down and think that you have one thing and then there's no coverage for that. So we like to do that.
So individuals can come and you can review their health insurance package, and you may very well say, you seem to have everything you need, you don't need us.
Sure. I mean, one thing that we pride ourselves on is really being able to educate people, and it's really important for people to know exactly what they have. And we're encouraged, because when we were on the radio, we asked people to, even if you bring your children in, to let them listen in, so that so that they feel comfortable with the decision. This is a financial decision. This is a decision that really families should be talking about around the dinner table. Bermuda and its historical roots, we've always been close-knit families, and hopefully we can get back to that in addressing some of the financial concerns. This is just one of them that we feel that we're qualified, is very important to say that, and qualified to help. And that's really what Moongate Insurance is all about. We really want to be able to assist people, and Richard, I really like to tell the story about one family that we helped, and they really were in a quango in terms of trying to decide between whether they are buying health insurance or whether they are buying groceries. And these are some real issues in our community, and we were able to help them come off of one of the private plans, and one of the things is very poignant what she said at the end of the whole process, which is very short, by the way, but she said, now we're able to afford groceries for our family because you helped us to save, $1,400 a month. And that's very significant in anyone's book. So we do invite people to come along, give us a call. Our number is 542-2200, 542-2200. We're located across from the cathedral, and just in front of the post office, called Sophia House. We're on the ground floor, so no need to climb stairs or anything like that. We're right on the ground floor of where HIP and Future Care are located. So certainly we really appreciate the ability to come onto your show to spread the good news. I mean, this is good news. We're working on new products, and hopefully we're able to roll that out in phases to the community. So continue to pray for us, and we thank you very much for the opportunity.
Not a problem. We've been talking with Leon Bascome, an energetic and excited person, about the new insurance company that is here in Bermuda. It's called Moongate Insurance. While it facilitates all Bermudians There's a special portion of it that will look into and assist with the future care and the HIP portion. So you have his information. Please get in touch with Moongate. Thank you for watching Issues, and we will see you next time.